Good morning, good morning, good morning. Monday morning, 9 o'clock a.m. on November 13th, and I have audio confirmation. Oh, that's interesting. What did I click on wrong there? Oh, I've got the trailer playing now. I just did a refresh on that tab. Dennis says in chat that the trailer wasn't playing for him with 2 minutes left. Okay, there it's gone to the live. Now, I wasn't risking a copyright violation by showing that trailer. Usually that is the case because there's music playing. And when I realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm playing the trailer, I thought, oh no, I'm going to get a copyright notice. I'm aware that the audio in my mouth may be out of sync. I have that same hesitation showing up today on XSplit that we saw. What was it? Saturday? We actually go through the whole show on Saturday with that? Yeah, it was only an hour long, right? Okay. Ay, caramba, the things that I deal with. And I was thinking about adding an additional add-in to my shows. Almost did that over the weekend and then decided, no, I better not do that yet. Actually, I was out of time. I'm going to go into chat. Alice has great trailer, and the trailer was, wait a minute. The trailer was, somebody said they wanted videos of my grandson's soccer game that I went to on Saturday. I arrived and found that it was actually flag football. Such a Doug. John Williams says, I'm still trying to get approved. Hope you had a nice weekend. When I first saw that, John, I was thinking, are you waiting to get approved so you can chat on my channel? But you're a moderator, so that never was a problem. And then it occurred to me there was something else that you told us you're trying to get approved for. I don't remember what that was. Martin says, touchdown. Hi, y'all. Dennis says the trailer didn't play with 2 minutes left. Now, I already had that tab open. And when I went over to it, I did do a no, I didn't have that tab open because I accidentally clicked on another video. So I clicked the back button, the browser back button, and it went back to my monitoring screen and it played the trailer after I'd actually started the show. How did that happen? Selden Ball gives us a weather report. Oystein, hello to you. Mike Wojcik. And Bobby Warren, good day, front and center. Is that, yeah, I'm up to date. So I have some stuff lined up. Over the weekend, I was working on this computer for my client, and I did do some extra tinkering, some Mythbusters experiments. Doug, why was that expression on your face? Well, it's because I have some photos. I have 244 photos to show you in today's episode. No, let's not do. And some of them are videos. Not many of them are videos. But I think this video is probably a good one to show because I think it is summarizing. A lot of those photos are irrelevant because they are my experiments. I didn't know what the results was going to be. So somewhere along this process, I sent myself an email with the summary conclusions, the things that I wanted to report, because I knew if I didn't make notes that I wasn't going to remember it all. So I did some experiments. This computer, since it's a Dell computer, it was configured for RAID so that we could have the, but it's 2 syllables long. It's the same word. I keep telling you, why do I have trouble remembering it? The memory, the thing that improves the disk. For spinning disks, we want this extra memory on the side. Optane, Brian Lightfoot comes in with it today. You have to be wondering, does he really not remember these things, or is it just that he's trying to get us to come up with a name to make sure we're paying attention and participating in the show? Or is it that he really can't remember the word octane so much? The answer to that is a secret. There you go. And what I found is that you can convert a drive from AHCI to RAID or RAID to HCI. At least I was able to with this Dell computer. YMMV, your mileage may vary. So in doing it, you can change from AHCI to RAID or vice versa. You go change the setting in BIOS, fail the restart twice. It's going to try, it's the third restart. That's the secret sauce. So you can just hold down the power switch or pull the power plug to fail the startup. Now don't fail it during post, but fail it when that spinning circle of dots is trying to load Windows. You don't have to wait for it to give up on it. On the third startup, expect to get into repair options. With this Dell computer, it brings up a Dell diagnostic screen, and I just escape out of it and get to the Windows repair options and get to where you can select startup repair, and expect to see it get to a message where it says checking for disk errors, and it says it may take more than an hour, but it takes less than a minute. And then it comes back to a menu screen, and it kind of looks like it failed. But then at that point, if you just select continue to Windows 10, it starts up successfully and it has fixed the AHCI to RAID configuration. And I switched it back and forth. I went back and forth over and over and over. And I was doing some other Mythbusters type testing. So that answers it to myself. It's easy to switch from AHCI to RAID. It's not as scary as it looks. At least for me with this Dell computer. I would be interested for some of the technicians who watch this video to go try it on a test machine. And I was doing it with a fresh install of Windows 10. I don't think that's relevant, but we got some more to deal with. Let's do Mac and Reflect, the premium version. I don't think maybe not on the free version, I'm not sure, has an option on the restore menu to fix Windows boot problems. So I wanted to see if that will fix it, meaning instead of going through those two failed startups, can I just go right into Mac and Reflect and use that menu to fix it? Hang on a moment. Okay, unmuted, confirmed. So I tried that menu option and no, it does not fix it and actually complicates the thing more. Because if you use it, it causes additional steps to go through prior to getting to startup repair. Now, I did also find that what that Windows boot problems is useful for is it does give you the capability of selecting which bootable drive you want to use. I didn't go down that rabbit hole very far. And then another thing that I tested is the AHCI or RAID state, one or the other. It is stored with a backup image. Now, the way I proved that is I had my first backup of this fresh Windows 10 install was in a RAID mode. So I got the computer switched to AHCI mode and actually booting into Windows 10 on AHCI. And then I restored that backup image. So I restored a RAID image onto a computer that was currently configuring in AHCI mode. And what happened is it failed twice to start up Windows, got into the repair options, and went through the steps that I previously described there. And then the computer would boot up. And I tried it the other way around. I made a backup image of the AHCI image, converted the computer to RAID configuration, restored the AHCI image, and found the same thing, which proved to me that the AHCI or RAID state is stored with a backup image. Now, the lesson from that is if you restore a backup image to a computer and it won't boot up into Windows the first time around, and it tries to reboot a couple times, or maybe you intentionally fail it, and then you go into that repair sequence that I previously described, and you can get the computer functional. Well, possibility exists that your backup was in the opposite state or there was something else going on. I don't believe I'm sick. The coughing didn't start until I started. Well, no, it actually started a little bit before. The tickle in my throat started before I started this live stream. It started when I discovered that I was seeing the out of sync with XSplit, where I could, before starting the stream, I could talk and see myself on screen, and my voice was not synchronized with my mouth. Yeah, it's a Doug problem. Such a Doug. His voice isn't synchronized with his mouth, even in real life. So that was interesting to find out. I have had occasions where I restore an image and the computer doesn't start up right. And discovering this sequence of steps through the Windows repair to fix it is real useful. I don't know in how many scenarios that will work. Then down here, I have fresh Windows 10 from Media Creation. Oh yeah, to let you know what I was using. I was using when I installed the fresh Windows 10, it was from a USB thumb drive that I created from the Media Creation tool. It was not specific to Dell. Without any Dell drivers, I had not installed any Dell drivers on this computer, resulted in BitLocker partially encrypted state. So, I think maybe that video has to do with turning BitLocker off. So when I did the fresh install, BitLocker was partially activated. And I got some messages as I was doing the Macroom Reflect backups that this partially encrypted drive was going to be backed up unencrypted. And really the takeaway there is to caution anybody doing a Windows 10 2022 H2 fresh install made from the Media Creation tool. You need to go check BitLocker and see if it's partially activated. And if it is, then go turn it off if that's what you want. I think there may be a lot of computers out there that have BitLocker partially activated and aren't aware of that. And I don't know when or if it will even cause you a problem because it's not actually encrypted at that point. It's a weird thing, partially encrypted. I'll show you some photos I have of that. And Greg AM says, I've seen that before with Dell and BitLocker. So I think this is happening even on non-Dell computers. I'm not sure. Now, it might be Dell computers. It might be that using that fresh Windows 10 thumb drive on a Dell computer because of the BIOS settings, or simply because it's a Dell BIOS, that might have what was causing it to be partially encrypted. And I think we've had people in this community confirm to me already that when they do a fresh install on a custom-built computer, they don't have BitLocker partially activated. I think I'd like to try that on a non-Dell computer. See what I get. Okay, now let's go look at this video here and see what that one actually is. I'm certain that's a video of that Dell computer, but I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. Yes. Oh, this is short. Let's see. What am I trying to show on this one? Unencrypted clone, right here where it says unencrypted clone, BitLocker. That backup image, it is noted in the backup file itself that it's an unencrypted clone. That's all I was trying to show in that video. I don't know why I made a video out of that. Is it because I was already in video mode? No, here's a MP4. What was I showing here? Okay, so I'm turning the computer on, I'm turning it off. Watch the fan there. The fan stops, and on a Dell computer, the fan starts up again briefly. That's not the computer actually starting. I'm going to let you hear the fan noise here if I can unmute that. So now I'm hit the power button again, and this will turn it on. Then looking at the screen to see what. Here's trying to start. Upper right, I had F12 for boot options because I made a change in BIOS to make it stay on for a while. This is the, I'm escaping out of the Dell Support Assist because I don't need that at all. Now I think this should be going into the third restart attempt where I'm going to get the Windows repair. This video is 3:52 long, 3 minutes 52 seconds long. And I wanted to let it play out so you could see how long it takes to convert. So here's recovery. Your PC couldn't start up properly. And I'm using, I think I'm going to start by demonstrating Enter key, that is not the right choice. John Williams in chat says, only 1/3 of the people watching have hit the thumbs up button. Come on. And I've told you before, yeah, the thumbs up is nice. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Then mainly because I don't always hit the thumbs up button. It doesn't bring any more. Well, okay, I'm not going to go down that road further. I won't be upset to find out that you, and you are not hitting the like button. Now I'm going to hit a F8 for startup settings. So that's the right way to go. Or was it F1? Whichever one I do here is the right way. F1. See, that shows you how good my memory is. Alice says there are some Black Friday sales for PCs right now, laptops. Lenovo on their sites has some good deals. Thank you for that heads up, Alice. So now we get spinning dots. This is the place where you can force power off, but this is going into the third one. Now, I had a different experience sometimes. It didn't always make me do the keyboard. And then choose troubleshoot, and then choose startup repair. This is the magic sauce. This is the one that actually fixes the UEFI versus RAID. Now it says diagnosing your PC. We'll get a message about trying to check the hard drive for errors. It might take an hour. Does not take that long. This is real-time video. This is not sped up. And then it goes back to continue. And what you do here is just choose continue. And this will be the fix. This is done. It's fixed. It'll go right into Windows. When I turn off this BIOS delay, that was only to allow me time to hit F12 if I wanted to, get a quicker startup by turning that off. Then here we get Windows. And I went back and forth. This was rock solid, with a little bit of variation as far as that didn't always ask me for that keyboard choice. Then I also wanted to show, let's see, we're somewhere near the end of those photos. I think that I went to, oh, now that's a little aside. I won't go there now. Here's device encryption settings. Let's see what these pictures. I didn't really have this pre-prepared as far as which photos to show you to show the point. Here's in disk management. We see right here, BitLocker encrypted. So this is the partially encrypted. So one way to see if you have that partially encrypted state is go to disk management, and it should show up there. And on this page, when I went into BitLocker drive encryption, it's a little ambiguous here. BitLocker waiting for activation. That's what it says when it's partially encrypted. The E drive, BitLocker, is turned off. Well, that's my thumb drive. I don't care about that. Is that no, that's my backup drive. That's my phantom backup drive. Whoops, wait a minute. No, F drive is the phantom drive. The E drive is, scroll down further would be my thumb drive, my Windows 10 installation media. So then I'll go on to the next photo. when I search for device encryption settings, instead of going into Manage BitLocker, which is what we were just looking at, select Device Encryption Settings. And then that gets us to this page on the right-hand side. Sign in with a Microsoft account. Instead, you need a Microsoft account to finish encryption. So there's this turn off button. So that's what I'm clicking here, is that turn off button. And I need to put that on my checklist on any computer that I'm preparing for a client, to go in here and be sure that device encryption is turned off. So then once I click that, I get this message, turn off device encryption. If you do this, your files won't be protected. Oh, that's BS. My files will be protected when I do backups. They won't be protected against a hacker trying to get into the drive, but I'm sorry, that's just not a real threat in my environment, in my clients' environments. Decryption can take a long time. This does not take a long time to do, but it takes a little while. So here's decrypting. Let's see, is this a video? No, this is a photo. Do I have a timestamp showing here? I do not have a timestamp showing here. If I go look at, these photos were taken in pretty quick proximity to each other. All right, you'll just take my word for it. Right arrow key. Oh, here's the video. So this is showing how long it's taking. This video is 1 minute long, a little over 1 minute long. By the time the video's finished, it'll be decrypted, and it'll show over here. This on the left-hand side of the screen, that BitLocker encrypted will disappear. I don't think I had to do a refresh to make it disappear. I'll go ahead and let that play out. Iran Israel translation, back up your encryption key to your Microsoft account. Yeah, well, it doesn't actually complete the encryption of the drive, as my understanding. And the evidence of that is that it doesn't really take long to decrypt it. But what is it doing when it's decrypting? I don't know. It's a little bit ambiguous. Here it's almost done. And then there you see on the left-hand side that message disappeared. Then I'm going to go back here and see, yeah, BitLocker encrypted. It says encrypted, but there's something about it's not quite complete. I'm not quite convinced that I have a fully accurate understanding of that. Is there anything else I wanted to show with all of this 240 whatever photos? Seems like there was. Oh, yes, there was. Let's see. I wonder if I can see here. Looks like this might be it. Yeah, use a device. If you press the Windows key and type Advanced Startup Options. Let's see, I think I'm saying that right. Advanced. Change Advanced Startup Options, because you want to boot from a thumb drive. And in some instances, this option won't be here. It won't even say use a device. And I even think I saw Kerry Holzman demonstrate this once. And I think at that time he didn't have that figured out yet. I assume he does by now. But what I found in my experiments is that if that thumb drive is not installed in the USB port when you last started the computer, so let's say you have Windows up and running and you plug in a bootable thumb drive, and then you press the Windows key and you type Advanced Startup and you tell it to start up now, you won't see this use a device. What you can do is just go ahead and restart the computer and then come into Advanced Startup Options. Now, the difference here is that you've restarted the computer while the thumb drive is inserted. Now, when you go to Advanced Startup Options, this Use a Device option will be there. That was a new thing that I picked up during these experiences yesterday. So hopefully that is a useful piece of information to somebody. who has perhaps struggled with that. Why don't I see that option here? I know I've come across it before. Okay, so now I'm going to go continue in chat. There's Larry Wood. Hello, John Williams. It says chat as an approved member in the chat window. Whoa, hang on. If you're a moderator, moderator trumps approved member. The only way I can make you an approved member is to take away your moderator status. Let's see, let's go ahead and remove a standard moderator just to experiment with this. So so we can demonstrate this, John. I'm going to, let's highlight you. I'm going to remove you as a standard moderator, and I'm going to give you a few moments to try to put something in chat. It should fail. And then I will make you an approved moderator. You'll be able to chat, but you won't be blue. Now, I'm going to give you your blue back, so don't worry about that. But to demonstrate this, to help people understand it, because people watching this video right now find that you can't chat, the way you get approved for chat is to put a comment on any of my pre-existing videos. You can do it on Saturday's live stream or any prior video. You can't comment on this video right now until it's done. Now, you could wait until then if you want to, or you could go right now to one of my other videos and ask to be approved as a moderator. And before I end the live stream today, I will show you. I will go look to see if anybody has done that. I will make you an approved moderator, an approved chatter, unless your channel was just created within the last few days. And if so, then I don't know if you might be my troll. So I will not approve it if you've only recently created that. So here's removing a standard moderator. So now, John, please go ahead and try to put something in chat. You've only got a short period of time to do that, because I'm going to go make you a approved person. Actually, I can't. That's not showing up. So John, could you go put a comment on any of my other videos asking to be approved? And I will use you to show that process. But I'm going to go through some other catch up on chat first. Brian and Lawn Dog both showing me Optane and laughing at my explanation. Lawn Dog says he has the same mental condition of not remembering certain words, just blocked. Obtuse. Yeah, is it really Optane memory or is it obtuse memory? Richard Rogers, hello. Richard Rogers says hello. Can't watch live. Miss Hexona started when you did. Dennis will catch up later. Lawn Dog Doug, I'm not overall sure I'm up to speed on what the real problem is. I have like a 12-year-old, maybe more, Dell computer next to me with Windows 10 and is configured for RAID for SATA storage. Yes, you can convert it to AHCI if you don't want RAID. Now, on this computer, the reason why Dell puts out all their computers with RAID is because some of them are going to have Optane memory. This computer did not have an Optane memory board in it, but it was still configured for RAID simply because they configure them all that way. So does it really matter, though? Not as far as I can tell. I don't see that it has any difference in performance, whether you're RAID or AHCI. But I think if you have it configured for RAID, you have to have that some Intel something or other driver installed. Otherwise, you'll have a persistent exclamation mark in Device Manager. I've never had any problem configuring it, he says. Yeah, you should be. It shouldn't cause you any problems if you're configured for RAID. And I just leave it alone. That was because the restored image did not have AHCI drivers. Booting into the safe mode usually gets those drivers installed. So perhaps that's what happens when it's repair startup issues. The restored image did not have the AHCI drivers. So when you back up an image with AHCI, see, I thought it would have been RAID drivers that were the problem. But I guess I don't know, isn't there RAID drivers and AHCI drivers? Greg's getting a little more technical for what the issue is. Let's see. That's chit chat about something going on Ken Stout's channel. I've seen that before with Dell and BitLocker. You don't think it has something to do with Windows Update, been having updates doing this? Larry asking. So I think somewhere along the line with Windows updates, and it could have been 22H2, or it could have just been the Dell BIOS. That's what causes the RAID to be partially configured. I already read that one. Alice, there are some Black Friday sales. Read that one already. Well, sometimes people forget hit the thumbs up button, yada, yada. They're so involved in the content, it's just not on their mind. If the content wasn't mentally stimulating, then a person's mind would wander. Then give the person an opportunity to maybe think about hitting thumbs up. Personally, I don't really think it's all that beneficial. People claim, content creators claim that it improves, helps them with the algorithm. I don't believe that at all, because what the algorithm mainly cares about is when YouTube offers your videos to other random audiences, do they watch it? Do they seem to enjoy it? Whether the current audience did a thumbs up button, since that can be so manipulated by the content creator, honestly, I don't think the algorithm puts a lot of into that. Now, some of the content creators actually put forth a more reasonable explanation. It's a way for you to communicate to me if you like that particular video. And if that's what we're going to use it for, if it's for you to tell me whether you like today's show, then you should, on some occasions, do a thumbs down button as a way to communicate to me that you didn't think that show was one of my best. And that would be a significant communication between my audience and me that is more useful, I think. But for people to click a thumbs down button, man, that a lot of people aren't comfortable with doing that. But I think that would be a more useful thing if a content creator was encouraging his audience, his or her audience, to do a thumbs down button when you think, yeah, that wasn't really one of your better shows. Back up your encryption key to the Microsoft account. Might be removing BitLocker, might take a minute or so. Yeah, it's not all that long. Thumbs up or the squirrel gets it. Brian Lightfoot, it encrypted the unencrypted files. It decrypted the unencrypted files. Something from the Ken Stout School of Cryptology, priceless. Yeah. How can you decrypt an unencrypted file? No. Dell.com. Oh, it gets some documentation here. Automatic Windows device encryption or BitLocker on Dell computers. All right, I will hold on to that and go read that in the later hours. Applies to other brands as well. So other brand computers are being partially encrypted when you install. Is it just major brand computers, and is it not happening to custom builds? That's 924. There's the rest of my chat. Alice, okay, I need to do this for Grandpa Doug playing Fortnite. Oh, wait a minute, Alice, you said something about, oh, I know where it was. Alice put a video comment on one of my other videos. Here, Alice said, I had the same issue with Edge. It keeps happening. I think she's referring to the issue that she reports before, where there's sluggishness or hesitation. And still, I'm concerned that it may be your hard drive. You're definitely in a browser, doing anything on the computer. If you're having occasional issues with a sluggishness, it just seems to take a while, that definitely could be hard drive problems. And we still haven't seen that. I need you to send me a screenshot of that detailed stats from Crystal Disk Info, so we can see if there's something going on there. If indeed that's what you're referring to here, Alice, was there some other issue that you're having that I don't remember? Yeah, Intel RST, Rapid Storage Technology, if you have RAID active, I think that driver has to be installed. Otherwise, you're going to have an exclamation mark in Device Manager saying there's a driver missing. So if you convert your computer to AHCI, then I don't think you're going to have that driver installed, and you'll find that driver in the installed apps, the appwiz.cpl. I believe that's an actually installed, looks like an installed app. if my memory is correct, but you guys don't trust my memory. We all know that. Long Doug, well, the cool people back in the day may not have wanted to fiddle with obtained memory. That's his speech to text, miss typo. So the alternative was to purchase a hybrid hard drive. I have two of them. Yeah, the hybrid hard drives have actual memory on physically in the circuitry of the drive, and it treats it like obtained memory. Same purpose, kind of a cache. A 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte model, they work pretty good to a certain point. When the drive gets really full at about 65%, things change in performance, which leaves a lot of empty, unused hard drive. But this is also a common occurrence with any hard drive performance. Really gets affected at about 60 or 70% of the drive being full, especially with SSDs, solid state drives. You're going to have performance degradation when you get over 60 or 70% of the drive. Now, I would like to do a Mythbusters style testing myself to see that happen. And the explanation, the theory behind it, is that the way that solid state drives work is they are constantly wear balancing the storage media, the little atoms within a storage drive, wear leveling. Thank you, Ran Israel. So they will move things around as it needs to be able to balance out the wear leveling, because when bits are stored in a particular place, they are periodically refresh their charge. Well, if you keep refreshing that charge in a certain location, you're wearing out that piece of the SSD. So it'll want to move that to another location to wear down some other containers. Really bad words. Not giving a good words there. But I've watched videos and read documentation about this. I just don't know the terminology well enough to say it. But it needs a lots of free space. It needs a lots of free space. What accent was that? Well, yeah. It needs to have a bunch of free space to move things around. And there is some unallocated area that it will change the allocations. But anyway, you need a bunch of free space. That you get those full and they're going to slow down, is my understanding. And again, I'd like to do some testing of that. Alice, great, thanks for the tip. We'll send. Sorry for the delay. No worries, Alice. I'm really eager to see it, though. Ran Israel, automatically activated on modern hardware, TPM enabled, MS account used, not enabled on custom builds, usually using local accounts. Well, even though when I set up a computer here with a local account, that RAID was still activated. But this brings up a couple other points. Automatically activated on modern hardware. So that's going to mean any modern major manufacturer that has TPM enabled. It's partially activated without a Microsoft account. It wanted me to log into a Microsoft account, then it would finish that activation. Does that actually further encrypt the files? How would I test that? If I take that drive out, that partially encrypted drive, and I connect it to another computer with a USB connection, I should not be able to access any files on that drive if it actually is encrypted. That's my Mythbusters test. That's how to do it, right? Because that's what encryption's all about. If you take that drive out of that computer, connect it to another computer, and that drive was encrypted, you should not be able to read the content on that drive. If I can do that on a partially encrypted drive, then that says it's not encrypted. Once I connect to the Microsoft account, the encryption finishes. Now I take the drive out, connect it to another computer. I should not be able to access it. Ran Israel says, good idea. Thank you. If you go test that, take some pictures, send me pictures, and let's document it, shall we? Let's see, another piece here. When I installed Windows 10 on this computer, I was not connected to the internet. And theoretically, Windows was not activated until I connected to the internet. I did not check on that. I would like to also Mythbuster style demonstrate that and document it. And I would also like to document that it actually installed Windows 10 Pro, which is what this computer had prior, which if it installed Windows 10 Pro from a flash drive when I'm not connected to the internet, then that means the information of what version of Windows was previously installed on this computer is stored somehow in BIOS, because it had to be stored somewhere that's writable memory. The only place to do that is the BIOS chip that I know of. Whenever a file is saved, its physical location is rotated to other free sectors. Well, what about files that never get saved, like the operating system files? They never get saved. It's my understanding that they get moved around to other. Now, there's not going to be a different logical. It's that logical address is assigned to a different physical location on the SSD. Because it can't do it. What if you had a computer that you never save files? You start your computer up, you get it all set up the way you want, and all you ever do is web browsing. And the files on the computer never get resaved. They've got to get moved around in order for it to do wear balancing. I kind of use the word shuffle space. Is that a dance you do, Lawn Dog? I'd like you to send us a video of you doing the shuffle space dance. Pure storage knowledge from Wintermute. I bet this is stuff. Yeah, how does it work? I've read through this stuff before, but each time I read through it, I think I retain it a little bit better. So I'm about due to do that again. There's that good idea. Now I'll scroll up in chat and see if there's more chat. Ran Israel, if the file is unaltered, the physical location remains the same. The where is the right process. See, I don't think that's quite true, because the electrical charge, the SSDs are storing not magnetically but electrically. It's like a battery, and their charge can wear out over time. So they have to have their charge refreshed. Every time that the SSD gets its charge refreshed in a physical location, that is like writing the file again, because that's actually what it is. It's there's a 1 in that cell. The charge is a little weak. I'm going to zap it again with that 1. That is a write, an instance of a write. So that is wearing on it. So instead of writing it to that cell, it'll write it to a different cell, right? That 1 over there. And then that logical address for that cell will be reassigned to the cell over here. Now, I'm speaking that out of my kind of vague memory. So rest assured, that is not rock solid knowledge that I'm laying on you. But that's my understanding of it. Well, when it comes to SSD hard drives, SSD, hard drives, and NVMe drives, there's only one true authority that speaks to us people in regular language, and that's Alan Malventano. I don't know the name. Can I grab that? Alvin Malventano. I don't know that. No, those capacitors, DRAM transistors are refreshed when modified. Yeah, see, that's not my understanding. So I will go read up more on that and read up on that again and see if my recollection is correct. Zavi Manor, if during Win 10 installation you do not have to type a key and you do not have to choose what kind of version, you have the key in the BIOS. Yes, that is, and so it knows which version to install off of your thumb drive, because that information is stored in BIOS if the computer previously had a digital license activation. Brian Lightfoot, my brain is approaching the 70% capacity limit, which explains its performance degradation, according to the Lawn Dog theory of relativity. Oh my gosh, you don't know Alan? Holy heck, he's the true authority on hard drives. That's all he used to do. That's all he used to do, his hard drives. Well, on hard drives, all right, but how about SSDs and NVMe's? You're saying he's an authority on all of it or just hard drives? I think he's saying all of it. Hello, Drew. That's Maryville Made. His name is Drew. All right, let's get out of here. We're going to bounce. Goodbye. Hasta la vista. Sayonara. Cyanide. I'll see you later. Give me one more. What's the Spanish version? Yes, and he moved on to SSD. Bye. Bye what? Take good care. Sayonara. Oh, well. Auf Wiedersehen. That's good. Thank you, Brian. Goodbye. Have a good day. Have a good week. Oh, heck. Have a good month.